Welcome to Fear Coded, a podcast where we talk about media from the horror genre and take a queer reading of a single book, video game, film, podcast, or TV show to explore just how queer horror can be. It's Pride, happy Pride, and all month long we are celebrating the devilish divas of horror cinema. In today's episode, we're learning beauty secrets from Isabella Rossellini and the local hardware store, as we fall for the 1992 camp classic Death Becomes Her, directed by Robert Zemeckis and written by David Koepp and Martin Donovan. I'm Tyler.
I'm David.
I'm Marilee.
And I'm soaking wet. I mean, I'm Gavin.
Listeners, that's not the sound of me coming up behind you with a shovel, as just announced. It's Gavin! It's our Glitterjaw friend and co-host of the Mixed Reviews and the Q Division podcast. Welcome to the show, Gavin.
Hi. Oh my god, thanks for having me. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Gavin, going on 9 years with the Mixed Reviews?
Yeah.
Did I get this right?
Yeah,
Wow.
close. I mean, yeah, it's next March. 2026 March will be 9 years, so.
That is,
Wow.
that is imperceivable. I just can't even imagine. You have covered literally so much.
And not enough.
Gavin, if folks aren't familiar with the Mixed Reviews, how do you describe this at a party with your parents' friends?
Oh god. Well, first of all, my parents don't have friends, so no, I'm kidding. So the Mixed Reviews, very simple. The log line we use at the beginning of every episode is we're a film podcast. We take an entire month. We take a film subject such as an actor, director, or mini genre. We take that month and we watch as much as we can. We read as much as we can. We basically do an entire biographical history, and then we tell you what we like and what we don't like, depending on what the subject is. So if it's an actor, their best work, their least best work, a director, same, and a mini genre, the stuff that we like and the stuff that we don't like in that mini genre. And you know, we would never, like, this show is a horror show, we would never do horror. That's why we've chosen a mini genre, but we have done slashers or vampires on film before, or zombies on film. Speaking of Death
They're all
Becomes Her.
so good.
Oh,
They're
thank
all
you.
so good. I was so intimidated by the Mixed Reviews backlog. I'm going to be honest, I didn't listen to it for a while because I know myself. I'll just like dive in and then I'll get so lost in the weeds, I'll be terrified and drown. But then I decided last year, I was like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to listen to all of the Halloween Mixed Reviews episodes.
Nice.
And that was such a fun weekend.
Oh, amazing. We do, hopefully, if we're doing our job correctly, you should be able to jump in at any episode. And so, like, it's
100%. Yeah, I'm current now. It's just, I like to listen to all of a podcast, and I've had to give that up because there's
something too many.
9 years. Insane.
and I will admit, like, there is a continuity, like, and I think that's just impossible to escape when you're doing something for so long. But we do try and keep, I think that, you know, the continuity is just the friendship between Louis and I.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. There's no bad place to start in the backlog, but
I can
will
name
say,
a few.
Gavin, you go in the naughty corner. I will say that a redacted number of years ago, I just directly asked Gavin where I should start, and he recommended the Vincent Price episode. And so I will always have a warm place in my heart for starting my Mixed Reviews journey there. I will say that when I, like Marilee, went back and sort of said, what do I want to listen to? I skipped a lot of things that I wasn't familiar with, but those are probably, looking back, my favorite episodes, because not knowing anything about a director or an actor that you all cover actually makes it a lot more fun to listen to the conversation.
And we do, well, I do try and keep it spoiler light as much as I possibly can, or cut out when Louis just spoils an entire movie. But every now and then, it's impossible to resist. I mean, some movies are worth spoiling. And I've always said a critic's job is not to tell you what to watch and not to watch, but you can place very strong warnings on someone.
Yeah, that one episode where you were like, Darth Vader's Luke's, and then it just cut was so strange, but I appreciate your work. It's really impressive. Gavin is a professional editor. That would never happen.
That's true, David. That is very true, David.
Okay, but that is not your only podcast, my friend. You are also the co-host of the Q Division podcast, which is a James Bond movie marathon. How did this project get started, and how are you all doing with 007?
Well, It got started because I love to copy an idea. I love to look at somebody else's work and say, hey, I did this. I'm actually AI. So, but essentially, I was listening to Screonk, probably the very first episode of Screonk, which is another Glitterjaw show about the Godzilla films that Derek and Doug do. And I was like, I could do this about James Bond. Like, that's the one thing that I have a bunch of approximate knowledge of. And so I pitched Derek on it, and Derek was like, it's a great idea. And I told my husband, and he was like, that's the worst idea I've ever heard. Who'd want to listen to that? And he does not like James Bond. And so then I, set about finding a co-host. My friend Chels does 1 Billion podcast. She's a fellow post-production person herself, as well as an educator as well. So I was like, no thought about anybody else. However, she had never seen a James Bond movie, and I was like, well, maybe that's the hook.
That's the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
And
I mean, that was basically what we did with David when we, tricked him into being on this podcast. He had no horror knowledge, and now he's stuck with us forever.
Yeah. Now I just watched The Conjuring 3 out of, hobbyism, not even for homework. I just put these things on.
The love of the game, David. The love of the game.
Love of the game was The Conjuring 3. Yeah, Marilyn.
I thought you watched it because the devil made you do it.
Oh, there it was, Gavin. There it was.
That was good. That was really good.
But yes, so anyways, I came up with this idea, and it's very much the Screonk format, except we are going in chronological order. And actually, also, sidebar, David named the show. He does not remember naming the show, but he pitched me the name. It was perfect. I stole that too. Love to steal. Love to take things that are not mine. And unbeknownst to all of you, all three of you are actually scheduled for a future episode, but none of you know which.
Okay, gasp. I do know that.
Goodness, the drama.
Here's my true wish in the world, Gavin. Will parodies of James Bond ever make their way into the conversation that you and Chels have?
This month, actually, the month of June, is the 1967 parody of Casino Royale with Doug Fink of Screonk as our guest.
Fabulous.
Oh,
Fabulous. Wow. What a month for Doug. We've got Doug's usual catalog. He's joining you for parody, and he's talking here at the end of Diva Month about The Substance.
Amazing.
Another film in which somebody falls down and explodes into a bunch of pieces at the end.
I mean, this we'll probably save for the end of the episode, but like these are two sides of the same coin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I did hear that Chels was just on your previous episode about whatever happened to Baby Jane, and I hear that she laid down a diva off, claiming to be the biggest diva.
Yes.
And to all of your future guests, I just want to say, listen up, fives. A 10 is speaking.
I'm at 11, but continue.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible, and so honored to have you here, Gavin. I think we are all huge fans of you. And God, I wish I remembered helping name the Q Division. I truly and honestly have no memory of it.
It's in your Instagram messages somewhere. Just ignore all the photos.
Girl, I can't I can't possibly look back that far.
Now, a warning. I want to check in with my co-hosts and our guests to see how things are going for them in a landscape of horrors that our real world has to offer. What's making y'all scared, or what's making you feel prepared? Gavin, as our guest, let's start with you.
Well, this segment, let's start with that. That's certainly making me scared because, as I was telling them, I'm a dummy who totally didn't prepare something for it. But I want to go with the age-old answer that some of you do on the show occasionally, which is that I'm a little bit of both. A little bit of both. It is June, as you said. It's Pride Month, which is normally a happier time in the U.S., seemingly, and it is a very scary time to be living in our pseudo-fascist current reality. David, you live in Spain, which is a former fascist ruled.
I know, but we got that taste out of our mouths, and we are not interested in bringing it back anytime soon.
You're out of it, so you know.
Love that for you.
Yeah,
it must be so nice.
Yeah,
it must be so nice.
What's it like? Tell us about it. And so that is certainly something that is a constant fear. I literally like. I've been having nightmares like I'm a child again, which is so much fun. I don't know. I'm just treating you three like you're my psychiatrist, and that's been a fun sort of thing. But also, I guess I'm prepared because I think we can win this. I think I don't think all hope is lost, and I don't want to bring it down by bringing up the fact that there's Nazis everywhere, but I don't think they'll win.
No.
No,
well, they can't
that's really powerful.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Gavin.
We're gonna make you see the joy and happiness through the next couple hours by talking about this film.
Yes.
So I think there's a lot of prepared to come.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, on that note, I'm actually feeling prepared today.
Tell us why, Tyler.
So this weekend, we've got Pride in Columbus going on. So this will be my first Pride as an Ohio resident. My first Pride in, over 10 years, I think. Actually, no, that's a complete lie. Probably, since COVID. I'll say that much. Since 2020, this is my first Pride. So I'm really, really excited. I kind of talked about this before. I honestly, feel safer in Columbus, which is, a very, gay-friendly blue island in the sea of red that is Ohio. But still better than Florida. So definitely an improvement there. So I'm feeling just really jazzed to be able to go out and be gay.
Love this. Do you have any Pride specific activities that you're trying to hit? Is there a booth? Is there snow cones? What's the deal?
Oh man, I would love snow cones. But I'm just kind of thinking running into some friends that I get to meet finally for the first time. Going to just be really gay because as Gavin said, this is a scary time, and for me that makes me want to be even more aggressively queer about it all. So just really energized to be myself and be there with my partner and have a really good time. So I'm excited and prepared.
I love that for you.
That is fantastic. I'm happy.
What about you, David?
For me, okay, so I was sharing this with Marilee and Tyler. I had a little fall recently, a little folly down, a little weeble wobble, but I did fall down. And I finally got my crutch back from my neighbor, so I went on an adventure. And I adventured to the Hyper Asia store, which is the giant warehouse-like grocery store that carries goods that are a little bit less common to the digestive tracts here. And I was able to procure a lot of really yummy goods. And so I'm feeling particularly prepared today because not only was I able to get noodles and sauces and different types of tofu, but I got myself a little sweet treat as well. And it's just tickling me and making me happy. It says milk flavor. I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to be. There's the problem, of course, with going to Hyper Asia is that everything's in a language I don't understand, slapped over with a sticker that I also don't understand to translate it into really poorly translated Spanish, which I am then trying to translate into poor English. And so I never really know what it is that's happening until I get home and either try to Google it or just eat it and see what happens.
Milk
so I had
flavor.
I had some milk flavor little dumplings today. They were really delightful.
The last time I encountered
squishy.
milk flavor was the time I accidentally watched an episode of Seventh Heaven in my teens. So I think that's probably what you're in for.
Wow. Seventh Heaven. You making me think of Seventh Heaven is homophobic this month.
That's what I'm here for.
Honestly. The dad was kind of hot.
He's a child molester, right? David. I'm so sorry.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Stephen Collins. Don't Google him.
Sorry. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I would not have. I would have just typed in "dad from Seventh Heaven," and I'm sure I would have gotten there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Marilee, save me from my.
So sorry I brought us down this path.
No.
It's important to know. Thank you for informing us. I'm so sorry to bring the mood further down.
Bring it down.
But I'm scared today, guys.
Oh no!
Tell us.
Yeah,
all.
no. Besides, the general terror of living in America, and also I have generalized anxiety disorder, so the fact that I have to fly in an airplane soon is really bumming me out. But also, very specifically, there were 2 spiders in my room this morning, and I'm really arachnophobic, and I'm having a hard time right now.
Oh no!
Yeah.
That's awful.
No, it was not good. My brother came in, like this was a couple hours ago. He saw that I was watching the Ocean Gate documentary, and he came in and like talked to me about it. And then out from underneath my bed crawled this big old spider.
Oh no!
And he's not sure if he killed it or not. And so I know. And so while we were freaking out about that, my cat was like looking in a corner and started meowing, and I looked up and there was a second smaller spider of the same species.
The second smaller spider of the same species has hit Marilee's bedroom.
Yes.
Wow.
And it's just I immediately is like, I have to leave my room. Like, we killed that other spider. He like got like the insecticide soap and like killed that one. So that one's dead probably. But I had to I'm wearing a hoodie. It is too hot to be doing this, but the idea of having exposed skin where a spider could crawl on me, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I'm having a rough day, guys.
I understand.
Ugh.
I don't like any of this. Normally, I only have to look at your shoulders to make sure that Ronald Reagan has not appeared, per our episode's normal concerns about the ghost of
his specter
Jelly
haunts
Bean.
us constantly.
Yeah.
Truly and honestly, everywhere.
Yeah.
But now I have a second thing to look out for, and I will warn you, Marilee.
It would be too small. Thank God it's not. A normal person would think that's not a very big spider, except it was about yay big, which is too big for a spider to be in my room under my bed.
That's where you sleep.
How dare.
That is
Apparently
where
them too.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh no.
Kevin.
why would you do that to me? I'm gonna have to move my bed.
Two things, Marilee. First of all, bring this up in your cat's performance review. Clearly not doing their job. Clearly,
No, they're deeply stupid is the problem.
That's no way to talk about your employees. And second of all, you are partially prepared, though, I will say, because do your nails match your glasses?
They do.
Oh my God.
Thank
wow.
you.
Oh my
Upgrade,
God.
upgrade.
Wow.
And David, you are a fellow colorblind citizen of the world, so I know, but I noticed them and was like, that's the same shade of gray.
It is, yeah. My birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I went and got a mani-pedi with my sister, which was a very thoughtful and kind thing that she did. I didn't enjoy it as much as she did, but I got these nails out of it. Here's the problem. And manicure places, please, when you're doing your service, think about this for a second. When you get a fancier nail package, and you decide, hey, let's put like an arm and shoulder massage in with the manicure, consider not doing that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that was coming, and then all of a sudden somebody was like touching me in a way that I didn't expect. I felt like a cat at a party that other people were just like touching, and you'd be like, oh look, it's a cat. I felt overstimulated and weird. It was a weird time, but hey, my fingernails match my glasses now, and I deeply love that. Actually, I want to find the shade and have it.
Yeah, no, it looks very good, but also, you can't spring unwanted touch on people. You can't.
Absolutely not.
No, I mean, like, she was
Stephen Collins.
She was very.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. And like, she was very kind about it. She's like, okay, it's time for your shoulder massage. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, your shoulder massage. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And then that happened.
Wow.
I guess if I read the thing, it would have said that was going to happen. I just was like, sure, the hot paraffin wax one. That one. I want that.
Well, those fine details, when they get by, we never know what to expect. And that couldn't be more true when it comes to the topic of today's conversation, which is the 1992 film Death Becomes Her. The film stars Meryl Streep and Goldie Hawn as two divas out to ruin each other's lives and afterlives, with Bruce Willis playing their talented loser of a lover. Lover. Didn't love saying that.
My lover.
Sorry, I wrote that word. Madeline Ashton and Helen Sharp are lifelong frenemies, fighting over Helen's ex-husband and Madeline's current husband, Ernest, a former plastic surgeon turned reconstructive mortician. After Madeline takes a potion that grants eternal youth, She and the others discover a huge drawback. Eternal life and living death are two sides of the same coin.
Although the movie met lukewarm reviews on release, it has become a cult classic, especially in the queer community. The story of two aging divas dragging each other and looking fabulous doing it is like Gatorade for the gays, and we love it. What is your experience with Death Becomes Her? Gavin, you're our guest. We're going to keep starting with you.
Oh, well, thank you. I don't know at what point my parents knew I was queer, but there were signs. And one of them was this. And I, this movie came out when I was 9 years old. And I vividly remember watching the making of over and over and over again as a child on our stolen HBO, which is a long story. You can hear about it on Mixed Reviews. I don't remember what episode, but I talked about it. And then waiting for the day, because back in the day, it's not like you children have it nowadays where a movie comes out and then a week later it's streaming. You had to wait an entire year for a movie to come out in theaters and then get released on VHS. And I did not have a lot of restrictions on what I watched as a child. So my parents were very happy to rent me this movie in which two dueling divas kill each other over and over again, because I was already watching that on Looney Tunes. Why couldn't I just have women in dresses looking fabulous doing it?
Right.
And so, yeah, I know this movie has been a part of my consciousness since that point. And also, I feel like I say this about every movie I saw as a child, but is part of the reason I got into my profession as a person who works in post-production, watching the making of this movie, which is truly amazing to look at, and maybe the last great movie Robert Zemeckis directed. Somebody's going to come for me for that. I don't care. Listen to our Robert Zemeckis episode of the Mixed Reviews. You'll hear my thoughts. I literally
that's a threat.
Yeah, it's literally one of the episodes where I was like, stop making movies. But but yeah, I think the making of this particular movie is one of the reasons I got into post-production, because I was like, oh, you're literally creating magic and you're putting it on screen.
Right. And just to make sure that I can say it during every other movie that we talk about this month, it's practical magic, Gavin.
Get out.
Truly. I've done it now 4 times. I love it. Fantastic. Well done, David.
I can tell your co-hosts are laughing hysterically.
They hate me. Yeah, we're about a hair's breadth away from being these ladies, truly and honestly. But Gavin, I also feel like I know this about you, that you have had an opportunity to see the Death Becomes Her musical.
I have, and it's great, and I highly recommend it. And this episode is not going to go up before the Tonys, but the Tonys are happening 2 days from now, a day from now, and it's going to win a bunch of awards. I just know it.
Ooh.
I love that for them. They deserve it. The audio clips are all over TikTok, and every one of them slaps.
Yes, yeah.
Can I wager on the Tonys? Is that something people do? Can I put money down on
yeah,
this?
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, people bet on anything.
Yes.
You can get.
Wow.
I have currently $5 riding on Bigger Spider in Marilee's house. So let me tell you can bet on anything.
What was the over under on Bigger Spider in Marilee's house?
Oh, you would not believe it.
Please no, don't do this to me.
Incredible. Okay, well then, Tyler, what about you? What is your experience with the film Death Becomes Her?
Okay, so my family, as avid fear-coded listeners are well aware of, has a lot of opinions about movies that might be spooky or scary. This is one of those movies that my family watched, and I don't think they thought it was scary, but they thought it was weird. And if it was weird, then it was scary. And therefore, we cannot watch it. So I grew up having a negative stigma around this movie because my family was just like, oh yeah, it's pretty stupid. Oh, it's dumb. Oh, you won't like it. Blah, whatever. Wrong. Mm-hmm. This movie's great, and I love it.
Okay. Fabulous.
Yes. David and Marilee, what about you two? Tell me, David.
Oh, tell you, this is my first time seeing it.
Wild.
I know. I should be in the naughty corner. It's kind of incredible because, I share Gavin's views on Zemeckis, but I also like some of Zemeckis' work, and so it really felt like I should have kept going on that train, especially since this was the last pit stop before Doom.
You can say Forrest Gump. We know what it is.
Listen. This is my first time. I had a blast with this. I truly and honestly adored it. I feel bad because I started it a little late, so I did fall asleep and then watched it full through when I was actually awake. This is like, I can't believe I never saw this on TBS. Maybe it's too much for a TBS viewing, but this seems like the perfect thing that I should have just channel hopped and found and devoted a little bit of my life to. And I'm glad to be rectifying that. I did start listening to the soundtrack of the musical just because I had a little bit of time before we started recording, and I'm going to go back to it. I was having a good enough time, and I love when a movie becomes a musical. I think every one of them has value, even when they're kind of bad. Looking at You, Groundhog Day musical, but they also they fill a certain joy for me. So even when they're absolutely terrible, Looking at You, Pretty Woman musical, I get to enjoy them.
I was going to reference Pretty Woman musical, so I'll go even deeper and say you've never seen the First Wives Club musical, which didn't even make it to Broadway.
I wish that I had, because I would hate it, but I would also then like dedicate myself to it a little bit.
Yeah.
Wow. Incredible, Gavin. Incredible.
Is there a First Wives Club, the musical slime tutorial on YouTube?
There should be.
Slime
Yeah.
tutorial? What the
Slime
fuck is that?
tutorial.
Slime tutorial. Back rolls.
So there's a certain fan community that like to watch musicals, and will put the illegal recordings of those musicals on YouTube and call them slime tutorials, and then it's fine.
Yep.
And
Oh, got
YouTube
it.
does its copyright strike it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Curious.
Yeah, hopefully YouTube isn't listening to this podcast recording, and that's not what tips them off.
Yeah, Mr. YouTube is listening to Fear Coder right now
Yeah.
and is just like, there, what?
Mr. YouTube, come on the podcast.
We have some words.
Marilee, what about you? What is your history with Death Becomes Her?
So, my older sister definitely watched this when I was a kid. This wasn't her favorite, like The Witches of Eastwick was. So but I definitely. Oh
my
nice.
God, Gavin wore clothing for the wrong
For the first time ever. It's crazy. Gavin's not invited to many public functions.
Yeah, wow. I'm just not used to seeing you without the harness on.
When they say no kink at Pride, they're like me. They're like, don't let
That's
Gavin come.
just Gavin. No Gavin.
If you rearrange kink at Pride, like the letters in it, it spells out Gavin.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So Marilee, not your sister's favorite, sorry to interrupt, but Witches of Eastwick, still on our minds and always.
Yeah, but so I definitely did see this movie as a kid. I definitely watched at least parts of it with her. I felt like I had seen the whole thing before watching it for this recording, but there is like the first solid half of the movie I have no memory of.
Yeah, the
Wild.
pacing, I will say, and not that we're like super into the movie yet, I will say one of the things the musical does, and the musical changes a lot, so they're not, they're sister, or they're cousins, not sisters, but I will say every time I watch this movie, the pacing of it really shocks me, because you really don't get into the meat of it until 2/3 of it, which is
Yes.
maybe why the movie failed, because that's for as much camp and joy as you get in the last third, it takes a while to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was shocked about how much stuff I did not remember until, honestly, if you had asked me, I probably was like, well, there's probably some more stuff before they show up at Isabella Rossellini's house, but that was when the movie started for me.
Well, let's talk about some of the themes in this movie as we discuss how deep it really goes. But we only got 2 themes, so probably take a quick guess about how deep this movie is. So, our first theme is beauty is only skin deep. Much like our experiences with Baby Jane, the anxiety of aging is a phenomenal problem for our horror divas. Madeline and Helen exhibit a lot of narcissism about their appearance, and jabs at each other's looks are common. Ernest, the guarantor of their beauty, is the object of affection and obsession, although it's his skills with acrylics and spray paint that are the main draw. The nastiness of their personalities refuses to hide, however, as their makeup and paint jobs can't stop the rot from deep inside.
We have been doing this all month. Like, we truly and honestly have been coming back to the idea that a certain type of fictional woman just becomes too beautiful to be beautiful inside. We just keep coming to this, and it is so interesting. We got a little bit of a way with the witches last time, but there is truly something about this Diva month that we've come to that is about exploring the nature of who we are and then who we try to show everyone that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And in this case, I think it's really fun because the campiness of the movie makes it kind of feel safe to explore that. I think that having these two divas who are really beautiful on the outside, but eventually start to rot after they're killed is like kind of fun to play with, because it makes that kind of like figurative idea of beauty being only skin deep like present and literal. Mm-hmm. And as we see at the end of the movie, like that rot, it's kind of like a picture of Dorian Gray situation, but now they're the paintings. As just that nastiness and rot inside becomes present outside.
We love a literal metaphor.
Yes.
We do. All month long, merrily.
Yeah.
And rot is such a good term for it because they're already rotten. Both of them are. I mean, perhaps there's an argument to be made that Helen is not fully there at the beginning of the movie, but she's well on her way. And Madeline was just born bad. And that's really sort of the lesson that it doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, because the nastiness is always dwelling on the inside. There was a great movie, and of course the name of it is now escaped in my brain, but it's a Quentin Dupieux movie that came out last year that's about a couple that finds essentially a time portal in their house, but it only takes you back 12 minutes. And the wife becomes so obsessed that she just keeps going down it until she's basically like a 20-year-old again. And then like, but is like rotting inside because you don't, it's all skin deep. And I love that theory of like, I mean, like you said, it all goes back to Dorian Gray. It's that like, and that's, you know, what does a person do that no matter if they look amazing on the outside, if they're just such a shitty personality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I also love that Ernest's whole deal was that he was a plastic surgeon, and we never actually really get the plastic surgery of Ernest. It's only when he becomes a mortician that his skills become relevant because of what happens in the film. And I think there's a cleverness to that is a little bit almost beyond what this movie's doing. And I appreciate and like and care for that. And I mean, I will be talking about Bruce Willis a lot during our conversation because he's very good in this.
He's really great. I love that you love that, because honestly, to me, the fact that the plastic surgeon becomes a mortician, both fields with so much study, is so insane to me. I literally can't think about the fact that he was a plastic surgeon or I lose it.
But here's the thing, he's not a good mortician. And I think that is something that's often lost in the conversation about this, because there's that great scene where a woman comes over to him and is like, oh my God, you made my aunt look so good, because he's only just dealing with the aesthetics. Once again, the rot is still on the inside. And,
exactly.
and he explains to her, he's like, oh yeah, it's spray paints. Like, it's just because he doesn't care about any other aspect of the mortician job. It's all just the outside.
Incredible.
God, you're so smart. I love that. Thank you. You're not. It's still a weird. I don't know what he did to get kicked out of plastic surgery. Insane career trajectory. I could talk trajectory. But that is so smart and fun. Thank you so much.
I think the career trajectory on that is just a writer's imagination. I think that's because you're right. Like I've known people who've gone to mortician school. I've never known a plastic surgeon, which is insane because I look like this.
I know,
you
right?
would never guess. But I do know, like you said, Marilee, it's very rigorous and it's certainly not an easy profession to just jump over into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you know what is a super easy position to jump into? The position of diva. Evil diva. Okay, that's not my best transition, but basically we're sliding into our shady boots. Yes, our divas are selfish villains, but it's fun to watch them be shady. The dialogue in this movie is whip smart, Streep and Hahn are so good at delivering their lines. During Pride Month and Halloween, bars and other queer spaces air this movie, and drag queens perform routines inspired by it. There's something we enjoy about two divas sniping at each other.
Oh, I absolutely, I mean, the girls are fighting, and I just think that it's kind of incredible.
Agreed. I think it's like, Gavin, I'm really glad that you said that this is like Zemeckis' last like really great movie or good movie. And I think part of that has to do with like how it's genuinely like really funny. Like the effects are cool and all. Like I think the effects are like really, really impressive. They use this technology in Jurassic Park. Like all of this stuff, it's very much like a chapter in the history of special effects work in cinema. But I'm really here for the performances. Like you have Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn, both incredible actresses and also really, really funny. Meryl, I think, is so beloved partially because she can do it all. And here we see her really selling that, and she's like really living in the fantasy. And so is Goldie Hawn too, about just like this really dramatic, bitchy, like jealous, envious, nasty person. But God, it's so fun to watch. Why do we think it's so fun to watch nasty people be nasty?
I don't buy that everybody has a secret wish in their heart to be mean to each other. And that's why we all like it when we see somebody live out the fantasy. But there is just a little bit of that, you know what I mean?
Totally.
I once got this scathing critique from a friend of mine. I used to belong to like a script writing group. And one of my friends was like, I love your scripts. Everybody hates each other.
Oh my God.
So like I know exactly what you're saying, Marilee. Actually, like
wow.
I agree. I don't know if I buy that everybody secretly wishes to be, but there is something about the idea of holding power where somebody, I mean, you know, David, I know you crave power, so I
obviously,
and so I think that is, you know, one of those things that's like embedded in us. But I do also think, you know, as you were saying, Tyler, a lot of credit for this goes to Martin Donovan and David Koepp's script, which is very, you know, and also I think if you think about the time period as well, too, there is a lot of materialism coming out of the 80s, and there's a lot of that reflected in our entertainment. I mean, I think the other part of me, besides the special effects part of me that drew me to this as a child, was all of the shows that my mom was watching when I was a kid. I've seen every episode of 90210 and Melrose Place. Like, I grew up on Dynasty, which was literally had some of the sharpest barbs on any TV show that was just constantly women saying things to each other like, the champagne is burnt. It was obviously frozen in the bottle, like, and things like, so I think there is, like, you know, we, especially as Americans, are trained to like this sort of materialistic,
yes.
Because, I mean, the other aspect of this is like their meanness also comes from their wealth and their, you know, their ability to afford to look down on other people.
Well, I think with all shade, with all barbs, I mean, this is like, you're not getting the full story if you're not watching Untucked. Part of why there's joy to this is that it is, when you watch smart people with dialogue like this, maybe they hate each other or not, who knows, but it's like that moment in the shower when you're like, oh, I knew what I should have said 10 or 12 fights ago.
Yeah, it's the fantasy of being quick enough on your feet and with your tongue to be able to respond devastatingly in the moment.
Right. And that belongs in fantasy and it belongs in fiction. It's really bad for maintaining quality relationships in your life. Just in case you were listening to this for that sort of advice. Weird choice, but go on. Please check out our episode on Midsummer if you'd like good relationship advice.
Oh no.
Burn your spouse.
The some complete sidebar that reminds me, my favorite line in the musical actually too is when they decide to drug Ernest and bring him to the Eternal Life Clinic, if you will. She's like, we need to find a way to drug him, and Helen goes, oh, we can use my sleeping pills. And Madeline goes, you have trouble sleeping? And she goes, my best friend stole my fiance. I was committed to an insane asylum, and I spent my life savings on a potion to make me live forever. So yeah, I have some trouble sleeping. and the best is Madeline responds with, I'm your best friend.
Nice. Yes. Yes. Oh, we love some narcissism.
Oh,
Truly incredible.
oh my god. It's so good to see that the writing is just as sharp and funny in the musical.
Well, there are a couple things that we do in addition to talking about the depth of a media to evaluate whether or not they belong as part of our conversation. Spoiler alert, we're already talking about this, so they probably do. But I must ask everyone, is this horror? It is probably not the most horrific thing that we have ever seen, but it certainly feels like it fits in the horror conversation. What do you all think?
It's a horror comedy, and we love that here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with the living dead.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it goes back to, whatever your definition of horror is. I mean, obviously, like, I've never been one who subscribed to the fact that horror has to be scary all the time. Horror, actually, I think Marilee even said this in your Carmilla episode, like, horror is a vibe. And
horror is a vibe.
And I think this movie is a complete vibe, but I also think the horror of having to live forever, something my husband disagrees with me on. He thinks he could hack it. I do not.
No. You're wrong.
But
You're wrong.
The horror of having to live forever is terrifying. And so I think, obviously it's a horror movie, but it might not make you wake up in cold sweats at night.
I fantasize about finding a magic lamp or a monkey's paw, and I have figured out that I want eternal life, but I want a well-crafted way for me to get out of the deal. A silver sword through my heart on a full moon, or something that I can control and be part of. I've done serious fantasizing about this because I'm ready should it ever come up.
I often say that, like, the thing that people act about vampires, like, oh my god, like, I was like, yeah, but a lot of the stuff that kills vampires also kill humans. Besides the sunlight, like, if you cut off someone's head, it's kind of donezo for them.
And look at this foretop. Sunlight would also get all of us, just as an FYI.
You're not wrong.
Talk about milk flavored.
We are those children from the others, truly and honestly.
Yeah.
Poof, one ray and we burst into flames.
Flames on the side of my face.
Yes.
Because I'm stuck in the sun.
There's going to be a lot of that to come. I also want to say though that if I had watched this when Gavin watched this, and I'm a little impressed that this didn't traumatize you. Meryl's movements after her death are Judge from Roger Rabbit Zemeckis creepy.
Yes, they're so good.
Would have had nightmares about it.
It's so funny. The making of stuff, a lot of it still exists on YouTube. You can find it, and there's a great clip of her doing all the backwards walking while wearing the blue screen hood, and then like her sitting covered in like the blue screen thing with just her head having to try and recreate those movements. And Meryl Streep's talking about how she brought her mother to the set that day, and her mother's like, why do they have your head in a bag? They pay you this much money, they put your head in a bag?
Incredible. I'm just waiting for the dream where my head mashes up Devil Wears Prada and death becomes her, and I get some sort of terrifying dream that I'm disappointed in my boss and her head is backwards.
In a bag.
In a bag, of course, obviously.
No,
the making of things seem also like nightmare fuel, truly and honestly, and I don't care for, I mean, I love making of stuff and I love practical effects, and this has got so many of them.
Mm-hmm. But, even besides the supernatural aspect, this does feature 2 murders in the plot, so depending on how you feel about stuff, that could also qualify it as a horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this movie also counts as body horror, too.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
I think, talking about, like, being Gavin's age when he saw this, I think I remember seeing scenes of it that were on HBO because my family also stole HBO.
Yes.
And there were clips of it that were sometimes
no one
a
loses.
harmless crime. David Zaslav is like killing projects left and right. Just gave himself a $50 million bonus.
Exactly.
So fuck him.
See?
Yeah.
So I think I remember seeing Goldie Hawn walking out of the fountain with a hole in her torso, and she's got those creepy White Walker blue eyes, with contacts in, and it was like I think I remember being like kind of creeped out, but also kind of confused because I was like, I thought this was supposed to be funny, and I've seen Goldie Hawn and other things that my family, has watched. So what's happening here? And I think that was like another reason why my family was just like, it's not good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
As awful and sort of I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like, not to objectify Goldie Hawn, but weirdly enough, with her White Walker eyes drenched with a hole through her, is the hottest Goldie Hawn has ever looked.
Truly.
And she's a gorgeous woman to begin with. So
Truly. But
True.
like, fantastic
Yeah.
look. I mean, and the water is doing a job as well. And
yes, but it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, they really did hit the makeup glam on that one pretty hard.
Yeah, for real. And red is really her color.
Yes.
She looks so
Yeah.
good in it.
Exactly.
Everyone looks fantastic unless you're looking at their hands to overage them for the effect. Otherwise, everyone A plus.
Literally just a shout out to the makeup in general, because so the movie takes place in 1978, 85, and then 92, I believe, is the how the math works out. And then also 2029. So Ernest isn't dead yet.
Coming on up.
Yeah, we're
almost there.
Almost there. And the subtle like age makeup they use on both Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis is very good, because people have a bad tendency to heavy hand old age makeup in movies, and they tend to look like they're melting wax figures. And this, I love just the addition of some of the wrinkles and whatnot. It's very good.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Mhm.
You know, and this is all well and good, but to be on Fear Coded podcast, you have to be more than scary. And we kind of already, covered this, but, what makes this movie so queer? Why are we all so obsessed with this?
Oh, I think this movie's straight as the day is long. What are you talking about?
That's so stupid.
This is basically Shane. Like,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my God.
Wow!
no,
Wow.
I mean, what could be more queer than this? Like, it's so funny. I was reading an article, and I think I linked to it in the notes, that was like, well, technically the movie's not camp because it doesn't derive from queer labor. And I'm like, okay, Susan Sontag, not everybody needs to do notes on camp. Like, we don't need the academic definition of camp for this. It is campy. It is,
Yes.
everybody in this movie knows exactly what movie they're in. They're playing it pitch perfect and whatnot. And once again, what could be more campy than two women so obsessed with their looks that they would go to this length to maintain them and whatnot, and just be as nasty as they are to each other.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
I think there's plenty of underpinnings in this, but when Meryl Streep is balancing on the arch of her high heel,
Mhm.
flailing her arms to fall down the stairway, it was uproarious because it is so laudatorily stupid. Just absolutely the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Absolutely. Laudatorily stupid is such an excellent phrase that I'm going to steal, David. Thank you so much.
Episode title.
Speaking of laudatorily stupid, we keep on coming back to the Looney Tunes this month,
Mhm,
because a
mhm.
lot of the humor and silliness derived in these movies is very Looney Tunes-esque. These characters are so larger than life that they become cartoonish, so it only makes sense to make gags that are cartoon-esque.
Mhm.
That one in particular, I think, is my favorite, kind of Looney Tunes moment. And then, of course, Goldie Hawn walking out of the fountain with a giant perfect circle in her torso is literally
It's too
Daffy
funny.
Duck is walking out of the fountain
Yeah.
with the same thing.
I mean,
That
it's-
was rude.
that was really fucking rude. The shovel fight, when they're hitting each other with
Shovel fight.
shovels, when she knocks Meryl Streep's head into her neck, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I just fixed that.
I will not talk to you until you fix your head.
I think that's part of the camp too, is that it plays it is body horror, but instead of playing it body horror the way next week's topic of The Substance will play body horror, it plays body horror as comedy. And so all of the aspects of how they fall apart and how they negotiate this, and even Isabella Rossellini's gorgeous 70-year-old body, is all played for humor and delight rather than horror. And the horror is just the underpinning that makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. And God, that's all so right. I just want to throw it out there that as much as they need Ernest for his talents, at least on Meryl Streep's character's part, I think that she's I've never called them by their names. I'm not sure which one's which, actually. But at least on her part, her interest in Ernest starts and maybe ends with Helen is the other one. Helen loves Ernest. Meryl Streep wants Ernest because Helen wants Ernest. And it's very Regina George coded. This man is a prop for me to better myself, and also somebody else wants him, so I'll take him. Yeah. And I don't know, I'm not saying that I just think that it's perhaps an avenue that could be explored.
Yeah, and Bruce Willis looks sexy with his hair pulled back. I agree. I think that's perfect.
And a sidebar on Isabella Rossellini's body, by the way, and she did have a body double, and she has talked about the fact that she was like, it's gorgeous to she, like, absolutely luminous, that she's like, that's not me, like, and my body has never been that. And so, like, you know, that you will run into that with the substance too. Like Margaret Qualley has said, like, you know, when people are like, wow, you look amazing naked, she's like, yeah, that's a digitally altered body. Like, that's not me.
It's not my body. That's there's prosthetics and all sorts of things going on.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. Of course, you know, kind of queer, so I'm into Isabel Rossellini when she's wearing this, like, beautiful gems all over her body. That is what I want. Is I would like a doublet of gems. Thank you.
You would look so
much.
Good.
I truly would.
You
truly
would. Maybe that can be some Fear Coded merch. Is like
a doublet
unofficially
of gems.
licensed.
Little page boy shirt of just rhinestones.
Yeah. Skin tone, like t-shirt. It's just the rhinestones.
Oh, you were gonna do this like a t-shirt tuxedo. Okay, I like that a lot better. We could sell that.
Okay.
Well, do you all feel prepared to dive in deep on 1992's Death Becomes Her?
I'm scared and prepared to dive into this.
Wow. Wrong segment, but let's go. It is 1978, and Madeline Ashton has reunited with her old friend and rival, Helen, and her husband, Ernest. Madeline's musical stinks, but Madeline finds joy in flirting with the obviously smitten Ernest. Helen fears that Madeline will steal Ernest away, just like she has with her previous partners, and sure enough, Madeline marries Ernest. Excellent use of a smash cut.
Yes.
Very, very funny. 7 years later, Helen's life is a wreck, and her obsession with Madeline has gotten her admitted to a psychiatric hospital. And while there, Helen realizes what will bring her happiness again: eliminating Madeline. Okay, let's just get it out of the way. We have to talk about Helen's transformation, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So Helen, who is played by Goldie Hawn, is placed into prosthetics, what is often called a fat suit, in order to make her look more overweight, ergo being disgusting, which was sort of a shorthand we had in the late 80s, early 90s, and a process that continues even today, though I hope is continuing to fall more and more out of style. The camera techniques are doing what they need to do to show that off, and I suppose it is delivering that thesis well. I just disagree with the thesis at its base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's really not a ton to add to that. You're right, and it is gross and should stop. But I will say the musical does a really good job of not doing that. They avoid that.
Great.
And part of the plus is, and this is not me saying anything, the two leads are absolutely gorgeous, but neither of them are rail thin women to begin with either.
Sure.
So it would be even more fucked up to be like, oh, like they've gained a few pounds. Like what the, so yeah, I'm happy that's out of it. I will say, I do think it is very funny though, that like you said, camera angles and everything too. The movie already is a cartoon. When you look at Helen's house, like it's just empty food. She just has a stocked cabinet that's just full of frosting that she's just eating, which by the way, she took the top off, but there was no like protection seal. And I know times are different in 85, but come on.
Have some standards, Helen.
Yeah, come on.
Wait, hold on. Let me Google when the Tylenol poisoner was.
Yes, there we go. and her apartment also, like, the telltale signs, it's also filled with cats, which honestly, a dream. And
A dream.
so not thinking she's crazy because of that. But yeah.
It was 1982, so inaccurate. Come on, movie. Get it together.
Come on. But yeah, and there's like fun little, it's like besides all the obvious like visual gags, there's fun like psychological gags happening here as well. I mean, Madeline Ashton's musical is a musical version of Tennessee Williams. First of all, big queer. Sweet Bird of Youth, which is literally a play about an older woman pining for a younger man. I mean, it's part of the play at least. I don't want somebody to be like, actually, it's about a has-been actor who like brings an older woman. Whatever. The older woman's one of the main characters. So you already have this theme running through of like an actress past her prime, pining for somebody that will reinvigorate her youth. And then also I feel like I'm just jumping around a lot of points. In a true Robert Zemeckis fashion, the movie she watches of Madeline Ashton getting strangled is an actual older movie that Robert Zemeckis has inserted Meryl Streep into, because the boy can't help himself. He loves to put somebody into an older piece of footage, once again Forrest Gump, and it looks gorgeous. It's so seamlessly done. It's very, very good.
I think that's why I didn't notice it, Gavin, because it actually, wow, Forrest Gump. It actually looks really, really like natural, and so I didn't even question it.
Do you know what the movie is, Gavin?
I do not remember. I know it stars Michael Caine. It's like an early Michael Caine thriller. And yeah, because he's the one that's like knocking on the door when she turns around. She's like, "What do you want?" Before she gets strangled. So.
No, I totally missed that. Maybe it's because I was fantasizing about a life in which there were thousands of cats.
Yes, exactly.
Me.
And you were unjudged just eating frosting from a can, because honestly, it actually sounds pretty good to me.
Would love it. Not legal in the EU, but I can go to the American store.
Frosting is not legal in the EU?
Not like that.
I thought we were living in a fascist state. Boy.
No, sorry. Sorry, I have to buy it from the American store, and there's a little label that says novelty only, not for consumption.
What? Novelty only? Well, I find that very novel.
Sorry.
Now, that's a different podcast. Novel Gain is a different
podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I love like our introduction to Madeline and Helen.
Agreed.
Like after the musical presentation, just seeing those two, and we get like a little bit of foreshadowing of like Helen and Ernest, and Helen is warning Ernest like, don't fall for it, she's like this, don't fall for it. And then of course Madeline is in her dressing room trying to look as seductive and Jessica Rabbit as possible, and then just them saying "mad hell" to each other is so funny.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Such like a little clever like wink wink.
So, real quick, earlier I was like, yeah, Get It Together movie. I forgot that this segment was set in 1978. So actually, it's all right. It is before the Tylenol Poisoners. So that's accurate. But
I thought that they'd moved ahead to 85. Am I wrong at that point? Maybe I'm wrong.
It's
7 years. So it's 7 years after 78.
Yeah, so
this
85.
This would be 85.
Yeah,
so you were right, Marilee.
Yeah, so this is a few years before the Tylenol poisoning thing. However, I was then curious. Sorry, you guys have been talking and making great points. I've just been sitting Googling on my phone because I was like, well, okay, but when was shelf-stable frosting invented? When was that? I cannot find an answer that's not Google AI trying to tell me when frosted was invented. So Listener, if you know when shelf-stable frosting was invented, please email us at fearcodedpod@gmail.com.
Turns out never, because it's not safe for human consumption. Thanks, David.
Yeah, it's for decoration only.
Decoration only.
I love this diatribe we've gone on with food history, but we simply must move on.
We simply must. Take us to the future.
Are you
Tyler.
sure?
Let's go back to the future.
Oh, man. The peak. All right, so another 7 years later, as the title card tells us, we see Madeline and Ernest are miserable. Madeline's career has suffered, and she's beginning to show her age. Ernest, meanwhile, is now an alcoholic and has gone from being a successful plastic surgeon to a popular reconstructive mortician. After receiving an invitation to Helen's book release party, Madeline goes to receive beauty treatment, but is turned away. Instead, she's given a business card to someone who might help her, a Liesel von Rumen. Madeline tears up the business card, but keeps the pieces in her purse. At the party, Madeline and Ernest are shocked to see how beautiful Helen has become. Helen lays the groundwork to get Ernest to leave Madeline, and Madeline eventually seeks comfort in the arms of a much younger lover, only for him to turn her away. Miserable, Madeline finds the business card pieces and drives to Liesel's mansion.
I simply must direct us to talk about this beauty center. I love that it looks like a James Bond set.
Yes.
It's like,
We
no,
really
Mr.
did
Bond,
pick,
I
the
expect
perfect
you to
movie
talk.
for Gavin.
Yeah, this is wild. A man should be petting a cat in one of these rooms. But even we get to see some sort of like centrifuge-like device through one of the doors, and that is a Zemeckis flourish that I appreciate. And it's before it becomes too much and a schlock, but right now it's perfect.
And I mean, this movie is full of them, and we'll get to it later on Ernest's trip to the morgue. There's another but this whole movie is constantly reinforming you that it's not reality, and that's one of this entire beauty center, which I feel like I never think of until the scene happens, and I'm like, oh yeah, this place. But yeah, I noticed that too on this rewatch. I was like, what is that man in that like Vitruvian Man device? Like,
and I love that it's a man. I also think that like I would not put Robert Zemeckis as like a feminist hero. Like I don't look for feminist themes in his films. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong. But I do like the idea that we are exploring that beauty is something that all people seek. And we will all do terrible things to do it. And there are a lot of men in the third act who are part of this little cult. So I think there's a lot to explore there.
Absolutely. And my favorite bit of unreality in this segment is right after Madeline, who is Meryl Streep, whose name I do remember now. Thank you so much, everybody, for getting that in my brain. But she's just been rejected. She walks up like these stone stairs going back to her car, whatever. She turns back and looks at like the bungalow where her lover is, and then perfectly timed rainstorm right then. Just it really sells her as her no good, very bad, worst day ever, and it cracks me up. Like the Meryl Streep's expression, it looks like she's a wet cat who just she just like saw somebody else eat the mouse right in front of her.
Oh, but that reminds me of like her amazing blocking in the scene where she's driving in the car and she catches a view of herself in the rearview mirror and takes both hands off the steering wheel so she could do like a cartoonish like screech in fear.
Oh my gosh. And when she stops in the middle of the road and all of the other cars have to go around her in this rainstorm, it's Looney Tunes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're really like we're going to talk about this with the substance, but like we are in a version of Beverly Hills where reality is heightened. It's kind of dreamy, fairy tale, like silly, like rules don't apply. And so we can get away with this sort of thing. And I think our like campy humor is more legitimate. Like we buy into it more, which is what helps make it camp because we're in a semi-reality. And that makes a lot of what we see so much fun.
Yeah. I also this is our first chance to also see Madeline and Ernest's house, I think. And I kind of love it, and it is a major set piece that we will keep returning to. But only then dwarfed by Liesel's manor.
Yes.
Like Dracula's castle that she has leased from him. Like truly and honestly beautiful set pieces, and I just hope in my heart, Gavin, that these are used well on stage for the musical.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the fun thing about Liesel, which I think her name has changed for the show, the fun thing about her place is it's actually even more abstract.
Fun.
The Ernest and Madeline's house is very like giant staircase and whatnot, but the Liesel's house is more like almost void-esque, which is kind of fun too, because it's almost like you then have to supply your own imagination as to like what this palatial estate looks like.
Well, that's when I'm stomping out of the theater. I didn't pay to use my imagination. Get me a taxi.
That's you watching God. War Horse. It's just a horse's head on a stick. I don't get it.
Oh, it's his father.
It's a metaphor. Got it.
So at this manor, Madeline meets Liesel, a mysterious and beautiful woman with statuesque manservants at her beck. Let me try that again. With statuesque manservants at her beck and call, Liesel reveals that she is 71 years old, but has maintained her beauty due to a potion that promises eternal youth and life. Although Madeline is initially skeptical, Liesel tests the potion on her hand, restoring it to a youthful sheen. Madeline buys the potion, but Liesel warns her, after drinking it, that Madeline must leave public life in 10 years to avoid suspicion, and also to take care of her body. Meanwhile, Helen has arrived at Ernest and Madeline's mansion to seduce Ernest and convince him to kill Madeline. Helen escapes before Madeline arrives. Later that evening, Madeline and Ernest get into a fight, which ends with Ernest pushing Madeline down the stairs, killing her. As Ernest explains what happened to Helen over the phone, Madeline rises from the dead, totally fine, were it not for her head being turned backwards. An alarming visit to the hospital and the morgue reveals that Madeline is certainly dead, yet still alive. Ernest concludes that it's a miracle, and Madeline hides the truth.
First of all, her neck is just sprained. Let's.
Oh.
I love when he's.
It's just a bad sprain.
It's just a bad sprain.
Yeah.
You've dislocated your neck?
Yep.
The fall is truly horror. That's the thing, is that the index finger to push your spouse down a flight of stairs is not vertigo, but the head landing on the stair and you seeing the dummy or whatever it is that did this fold that neck cartilage, that is horror.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, the way the body, and I also think the way the body rests when it fully lands, and it's like one leg over the. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, it's hilarious, but it's like,
oh yeah,
humans shouldn't Gumby that way. Like,
no, not unless you've been thrown out a window by a demon possessing a little girl.
Yes.
Like that is not the way for a man to lay on the ground.
Not at all.
But can we talk about Isabella Rossellini? I just
Let's.
think
All
iconic,
day.
beautiful, wonderful. But one of my favorite parts of all of this, besides that she's spectacularly beautiful and also like kind of a vampire, was guess how old I am, and the response is 38, and she gets offended a little, and it's so funny. But it is, that is a joke that could pass you easily on by, because it is a blink and you miss it sort of situation.
Yeah.
Her line delivery of "Sempre viva" is so good. Yeah, I have a little bottle with that, like in the other room. I meant to bring it here, but yeah, it just has the "Sempre viva" logo on it.
Perfect.
Love that.
I
That's
think-
so cool.
That's so good.
Do think that this so speaking of gay things, like I do think that this movie also started like a lifelong obsession with perfume bottles. Just the way, I don't collect them or anything, but I love the way perfume bottles look. They're so mysterious.
Oh my gosh. Listen, we all love a little potion.
Yes.
We all love a bottle that's beautiful. Perfume, what is it if not a potion in a weird little bottle?
Yes, exactly. And delicious. Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Well, it could be. Maybe. There was those Bath and Body Works things that made you smell good, but I think were just sugar water.
Yeah. We
'cause I've
currently have one in our bathroom right now that Dan's like, don't buy this again. It smells like Girl Scout cookies. We're not doing this. So.
Incredible. I think the other part of all of this that I really, really liked was just the way in which Isabella Rossellini's, Liesel's men are sort of, they're serving her, but they're not just sexy lamps. I don't they're a little bit more than that, right?
Are they though?
They're-
Because there's the one that's like just lounging at the, and she's like, move, like move,
I
let
love
her
that.
sit. Like,
Give my friend a room.
yes.
Just incredible. And even that we get introduced to Liesel, like she's Dr. Claw, Mr. Claw, I don't remember, from Inspector Gadget, because she's got her back to us and just a little dainty wrist on the other side of this gorgeous armchair. There's just so much that's happening here. that feels a little bit like it's being taken seriously, but it is over the line.
Yeah.
It is just over the line.
We're having silly fun here.
So
Well,
much silly fun.
David, I'm really glad that you compared it all to Dracula, because I do get a very "May I Suck Your Blood" kind of vibe from Liesl. Like, she's giving Carmilla. Like,
Yes.
this is very Carmilla-esque, where it's like a very seductress vampire-like woman who is much older than her appearance would suggest, and is out trying to add to her kind of like collective or brood or clan or whatever of other vampires, and they're just not sucking blood. They're just drinking potions and looking pretty.
Mhm.
So not as, lethal as a vampire, but I think like the aesthetics are being borrowed, and that's kind of what makes it feel like more serious, because the aesthetics are gothic and effective, but the actual things that are happening in it are so much more silly. But God, Isabella Rossellini is just selling this delivery, and it's wonderful.
Listen, I'll buy anything she wants to sell me. She's incredible.
I loved also like the Matryoshka doll kind of like design for the egg containing the potion.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And it's just one thing after another that she has to do until eventually she just like pulls a ribbon out and it just like opens up.
Oh,
with the
so
little
good.
puff of magic.
Yes,
It's
the
so
little
puff of
digital
magic.
smoke.
Oh, the magic,
so
the
good.
magic fart every time was incredible. I loved it.
And I also love first of all, it's not June I Suck Your Blood, Tyler, come on.
Sorry.
But no, all great points. And I think the other thing that like is often lost in this conversation is the idea that once you take this immortality potion, you then are only allowed 10 years in the public eye. So you take it for eternal youth, for forever, but the fame that you're trying to get, you can only keep for a very small amount of time. And based on what we know about Madeline, that was never going to be accomplishable. And I love that, like, there's a bit later in it with, like, the Elvis thing, and where they're, like, not allowed to make appearances and whatnot. Like, but Madeline wouldn't even, until she's, like, forced into a situation due to the fact that she's dead, would never be able to even just do small pop-ups. Like, it's
Right.
just not in her personality. She's a megalomaniac.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At one point in time, we're dealing with the notion that Madeline is dead and she's sort of been taken away, and this is kind of in between a couple of the scenes that we're talking about, but it's one of my favorite line readings of Willis is that she's sort of been declared dead and they've taken her to the morgue.
Yes.
and he shouts, "The morgue, she'll be furious." And that is what I think. I was like, oh, the movie has started. Like, we are now in Camp Town.
Yes.
Racers, sing your song. Doodah
Yeah.
doodah.
Mhm.
It's perfect. We don't remember Willis as a comedic actor, and honestly, I think that's to our detriment. He is so good here.
I think, I mean, not to cast aspersions on somebody who unfortunately is no longer acting as well too, but I think we don't remember him as a comedic actor because he doesn't really want us to remember him as a comedic actor.
Right.
I think like his
Right.
macho persona sort of took over. But, Moonlighting was his first big break, and he's very funny in Moonlighting. He's very funny in this especially. And this specifically, and I know you said you were going to talk about him a lot, David, but like this specifically is unlike anything he's ever done in his entire career. And
Agreed.
And I would think if you think about what you know Bruce Willis for, it doesn't feel like he's capable of this, but he totally is because he's so good in this role.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
but
should have done more like this.
Yeah,
Like,
But there are-
we needed like 5 less diehards and
Right.
5 more of this.
right. And a couple extra Fifth Elements sprinkled in as well, because that's another one
oh
I
my-
go to back
Oh.
for.
Oh,
God, that's
oh, love the Fifth
He's
Element.
very funny in that.
Hey, the world ends in Fifth Element. Can we negotiate that as horror somehow?
I mean,
The aliens are kind of spooky.
there is that shot where Zurg's skull is just bleeding as he.
Oh,
True. The enemy is like a big unknowable like creature
Yeah.
from the depths of space. We'll workshop it.
I
Stay tuned,
will not stand in the.
2026.
I feel like I'm the one who stands in the way of us letting do things. I would never stand in the way of this. Fifth Element is one of my favorite movies.
It's so
We're
good.
definitely doing a sci-fi theme or something next year for sure. Get into it.
And just to pull the pin out of the morgue thing as well too, as he's going to the morgue, he encounters 3 floating nuns who just float by him in the hallway.
God, the nuns cracked me
It's
up.
so
my
good.
God.
But once again, it's just reinforcing that idea that like you are in a cartoon, like that, you know.
Right, and I'm going to say it. Best use of a nun that we've seen on film so far.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah.
Yep, that just totally tracks. We haven't seen a good horror nun yet.
I can't wait for your Sound of Music episode.
That is actually coming out on Are You My Mother in a couple weeks. So
Are you finally going to
We'll
get to the bottom of how you solve a problem like Maria?
truly and honestly, we go for an hour to just try our best. All right. Well, Madeline and Ernest have returned home for a bout of reconstructive embalming to keep Madeline looking fresh. Helen arrives the next night with a bundle of hardware to bury Madeline's body, but Ernest is insistent that Madeline is fine. Helen goes to work, throwing shade at Madeline and reminding Ernest of the murder plan, which Madeline overhears. Madeline reacts, I would say fairly reasonably, by blasting Helen away with a shotgun. As Madeline and Ernest prepare to then bury Helen's body, Helen rises from the fountain that she flew into with a giant hole in her abdomen. Madeline realizes that this means that Helen also took the potion, and the two fight. Ernest goes off for a drink. Eventually, the divas reconcile and ask for Ernest to help fix their bodies, and although he initially vows to leave, the divas persuade him to stay just this one time, only to later realize that they need Ernest around more permanently for maintenance. He must also drink the potion.
I just a real quick, and I should have mentioned this in the previous one, the fantasy sequence of Helen killing Madeline is so good.
Oh my God.
Speaking of cartoony,
Yeah.
and just everything about it. And Meryl Streep, obviously, like, you don't need to sing the praises of her acting. The entire world has sung that. But just the way that when the drug hits her and she smashes her face down into a plate of food is so good. The idea that, like, and we'll just make it look like she's had a little drink and she's pouring like a bottle of alcohol onto the car and then drops it, and there's like 40 bottles swimming in her car. Yeah, it's all very good.
Oh,
I
it's
was
so stupid.
rolling. I was laughing so hard.
stupid.
Yeah.
The morticians at the end saying like 0.4. She got what was coming.
Oh my God.
With her like crispy hand in the foreground.
Yes, yeah. And also, cars statistically have a very low habit of exploding, unlike they do in movies. So I love the fact that, and it instantly, it is a car that's been covered in alcohol, but I just love the fact that it goes off the cliff and without hitting anything, immediately bursts into flames.
Yes. Just downward trajectory is all it took for this thing to explode.
Yes.
What was it, a Tesla?
Yeah.
Just
That explains why she couldn't get out of it. But yes, anyways, so sidebar. So she kills Helen, and I do love, I mean, obviously, like everything, the entire movie is just like 1 billion miles per hour once she rises from the pond that she's in and the water spills out of her. And yeah, it's just so funny there from there. Like every line is barbed, you know, hearing their past, finding out that, like, you know, Helen maybe started this rivalry between them because Helen grew up rich and Madeline was not rich, and you know, they created this toxic behavior between both of them where they're constantly competing. And yeah, beautiful.
Let's not forget, Madeline is from Newark.
Yeah,
well, what more do you need?
Yeah.
she's from Newark.
I love that you called out the water, Gavin, because the water was the thing that I was like, this is going on a little too long, and we're talking like fractions of a second to get this right, that it looped back to being funny again, and a little bit less would have been unfunny, and a little bit more would have been unfunny, and it is the sweetest spot of the water coming out of the giant hole in her body.
Oh my God, it was so perfect.
And for having a giant hole in her body, it's surprisingly not graphic. And I think that's what makes this movie like work, is all the body horror stuff is cartoony, and therefore, because it just is a hole, it's like the holes in Roger Rabbit, where you like slap a hole onto the wall and you can reach in. Like that's what it feels like.
Right.
Yeah. For a body horror movie, this isn't really grounded in the physical.
Right.
Right. moment of the movie, which I know is not a thing we do, but I'm doing it now, is Meryl Streep throwing this like shaft of a shovel at her opponent, getting it through the hole and being like, yes!
No!
Oh, wait! Because, wow, I felt seen. Because I would also be like, ooh, a hole. I should get the thing through that hole.
God, it's so good.
But
this whole sequence is so good.
But then Goldie Hawn later goes to sit down.
And it moves through it.
Yeah.
But also, once
God.
again, movie made 1991. Like, very complicated visual effects shot. Very well done.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And for the love of the craft, I think, is also what it is, because it's funny, yes, but the sit in particular that's just showing off.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the best
Totally.
way, and truly in the best way, because it's a little bit of a giggle, it's a tee-hee, but it's not even like throwing the thing was a laugh out loud. But this is just being like, watch what I can fucking do.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that so much. A feather flowing through the air could never.
Yeah. God, it was so good. This is all so good. This movie rules.
I'll start referencing some other Zemeckis films. The Polar Express could never.
Beowulf could never,
Oh!
which also
Oh,
personally slapped my mother in the face and pissed on my orchards.
Wow.
Is that just a
Personally.
full-on Beowulf reference? Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
Tyler's a medievalist.
I know. Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. I know. Well, you were mentioning in Carmilla the description of Grendel in Beowulf and how it's
Mhm.
very cinematic, hundreds of years before we even came up with the concept of film. And so, yeah, I appreciated that.
Good. I'm glad. That was
Things
for you,
out-
Gavin.
Thank you.
Just for Gavin. You know what I'd also like to believe is just for Gavin? How diva-esque Meryl is when she's getting her makeup done
Yes.
by Ernest.
Yeah.
I love how bored she
Yeah.
is, because that is how that character would be about this. There'd be the initial panic, but then the actual material of it all, the work, is just, it's dull, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people make all those actors make all those fucking TikToks where they're sorry, I'm probably swearing more than any guest you've ever had. I just have a dirty mouth.
It doesn't matter. We have a yes swear rule.
Oh,
Please
excellent.
encourage it.
But all those TikToks of them like sitting there getting their makeup put on that are just the quick motion speeds, and it's like, why am I watching this? Every second I'm watching this, I'm dying. Why am I doing this?
Truly. And the sad thing, of course, is that it is art to those artists.
Right.
Makeup
Oh,
art
yeah.
is truly
Yeah.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But the third and I could, I've never been, and I mean, I was on a PBS special called The Big Band Sound of World War II, where I had to have my makeup done as background. But I could imagine that maybe the first couple times that you get your makeup done, or even a special effect, it's kind of fun. But by the 7th or 8th or 900th time you're getting Vulcan ears put on,
Yeah.
you're like, the whimsy has gone.
Now, David, remind us what your Emmy speech was for that PBS special.
It was, thanks to my boyfriend for getting me this $20 gig.
Excellent.
Did you shake Ken Burns' hand?
I did not. You can only see me twice. I do have a VHS.
He did, but it was very slow, and it just panned across the screen for what felt like 15 minutes. That's what I'm here for, post-production jokes.
Ken Burns is just
Yeah.
making
Everyone
jokes and voiceover about, like, I met this man, David Arnold.
Or are you suggesting that I dated Ken Burns?
Yes.
I
No.
would.
You just met you. But it was significant
okay.
enough that now it has to have a 5-minute montage. Ken Burns talking over the camera, doing an interview.
Yeah. I also I feel bad because last episode we talked about how great Jack Nicholson was in The Witches of Eastwick, because he is really fantastic in it. And I don't want to detract from the divas by talking about Willis, but Willis screams at one point in time in this sequence, and it is the funniest thing that I have ever seen come out of him. It actually leaves some of his moonlighting in the dust. That it is so funny, outrageous. Some of it, of course, is like good cinematography on him that is like goofy and cartoonish. But it is a horror scream that has been like delivered, pitched a little differently. And like, good on Zemeckis to like pull that out of him. Good on Willis to perform it. It truly is a guffaw moment in this sequence.
Mm-hmm. Although it takes a few attempts, Madeline and Helen are able to get Ernest to Liesel's mansion. Liesel sells the potion to Ernest, but he balks at the last minute. Living forever doesn't seem as great as it sounds, and he tries to escape. After discovering just how many people in Beverly Hills have taken the potion, including some famous folks who have faked their deaths, Ernest is chased to the top of the mansion. Madeline and Helen try to save Ernest from falling off of a pipe, but as he realizes that the divas want him to live forever for their sakes rather than his own, he lets go. Ernest crashes through the glass ceiling of the swimming pool and escapes with just a scratch. 37 years later, Ernest is being celebrated at his memorial for the incredible, charitable life he lived after 50, but two hecklers in the back disrupt the service. Madeline and Helen, depending on each other and looking the worse for it, bicker. Helen nearly falls down a set of stairs outside the church, and Madeline mocks her for it. Helen grabs Madeline, and they both fall down the stairs, breaking every body part apart until there are a slew of pieces on the ground. Helen asks Madeline dryly if she remembers where they parked the car as the movie ends.
Incredible. Ah, iconic. Classic.
Yeah,
Way to
so
go.
I would love to start off with the mansion scene. So
Agreed.
like we've got Ernest, and he's getting the cell from Liesel, and it seems to be working, and then Ernest realizes what we seem to have all agreed on, and it's that living forever seems kind of terrible.
Well, it's a line from Liesel in particular that I was stuck with, which was her saying, "You can live and work forever."
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, work forever?
Yep.
No, thank you. Am I Sisyphus? Get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's an often proclaimed refrain, "I do not dream of labor," and it's like, my god.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't either. Like, especially because it seems to be that Liesel is, like, now aware of Ernest's gift and is just going to put him to work for everyone else forever.
Yeah. And who does that include? It includes Elvis, Andy Warhol, Marilyn Monroe, anybody else that you all saw in the audience?
James
Dean.
That's what
I was just going to say...
Jim Morrison.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, like,
Jim Morrison.
there's no way this movie isn't gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So gay.
It's so gay.
Yeah, it's so true. Like, the idea that he would then have to work forever. And I also love, once again, I don't want to belabor the point that he's not great at what he does. Like, he's great for the aesthetic, but, like, instantly, Helen and Madeline are, like, starting to peel and start, you know, like, and so, like, even if he did get this position performing these quote unquote miracles, of they don't last either. Like, the whole idea is that none of this lasts, and that's really the moment that pushes him over the edge, is when they're begging him to, like, drink the potion, so if he falls he'll live. They're like, you know, drink it, we need you. And it's the idea of having to be with Helen and Madeline forever, that he's like, actually, no.
I'd rather die, truly.
You know, I think what Liesel is, like, trying to do is, like, appeal to his artistic sensibilities of, like, you're this great artist, you have, like, this calling of this talent of performing miracles and making people beautiful. And, like, he just clearly shows that ain't him, babe.
Right.
He is not here. He does not care about his work, clearly. He's good at it, but it's not his passion. And that is what the difference is between this and somebody like a real artist who, if given the opportunity to practice their craft forever, might jump at the chance.
And, like, I think we see that in the very end of the movie with Funeral.
Yeah.
He does a million other things, but nothing having to do with making people beautiful, which he doesn't give a shit about.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Make the
moved on
world
from the
beautiful.
aesthetics.
Yeah.
Speaking of the end of the movie, and I brought this to the table just to alert all three of you, there is an original ending that did not test well, essentially, which was Bruce Willis escapes them, runs to a bar, meets Tracy Ullman, who is a bartender there, tells her his story. She fakes his death, and they go off and live happily ever after. And then the movie cuts to 50 years from them. And they, like, both Madeline and Helen looking pristine, actually, having somehow made it work, spot Ernest and Tracy Ullman old age in a park. and basically Madeline's like, oh, like, don't they look terrible and whatnot? And Helen like sees how much these two people who have now become strangers love each other and is kind of wistful about the whole idea. And Madeline's kind of like, suckers, who would want that? You want to go to Paris again? And that ending just proved to be too sincere for the audiences. There's not really a joke in there. It is just all a moralistic ending. It is the sort of morality play type ending of the be careful what you wish for, and that maybe there is something deeper in life than looking good. And Robert Zemeckis said it just never played. And so this whole ending at the funeral is a reshoot. And funny enough, the musical actually sticks closer to the original ending. Obviously, it adds jokes, but I kind of understand that from the idea of it being a stage show, that you don't want to get your entire chorus out there to just be participants at a funeral for a very brief moment. So they kind of remix the two together into a funnier ending, but it is very much the original ending of Death Becomes Her.
Wow.
Well, genuinely, I love that.
Well, this stage show of it all also makes sense because you are going to then see the actors come out for a curtain call.
Yes.
And that is the refrain from other decisions that are made. I mean, I think about Little Shop of Horrors, for example, which I think has a brilliant original ending.
Yeah.
But I understand that you would be sad at the end of it, and that's how stories end sometimes, is with thought and introspection. And I guess if you don't want your film to end with thought and introspection, you have to end somehow else. And that is how it did. I watched Goldie Hawn talk about the original ending. Gavin and I had a really nice time listening to her sort of recap her memories of it, and particularly how she thought about her performance of sort of lying to her friend / enemy that she's stuck with about, those suckers.
Yeah. But
actually being like sad inside. And it would have been fun to watch Goldie Hawn deliver a lie. And I always think that it's fun to watch a character do that.
It's so funny. I know a lot of people who particularly don't care for deleted scenes because they're like, well, if it was deleted, it shouldn't have been in the movie in the first place. I love deleted scenes. I don't think adding a deleted scene into a movie rarely adds much to it, depending on what it is. The director's cut of Dr. Sleep is a rare example of it's actually a much better movie.
That movie's so good.
I love both versions, but the director's cut is just like, oh my God. So good. But there's never been a DVD version of Death Becomes Her that has had any of these scenes, and I would love to see it. I love Tracy Ullman.
I was surprised because I actually only got the Goldie Hawn interview from, it just showed up as like a Plex recommended special feature video that just sent me to YouTube, like fucking Plex.
Yeah.
And so I watched it because I was there, and I was like, this is not a special feature with this film. This is just an interview with Goldie Hawn.
Plex is our modern day stealing HBO. So
true.
I never stole HBO. I only stole Max. Calm down.
Same company. You wouldn't know though. They're being very mysterious about it.
Truly, I can't be held culpable. Oh, I really enjoy this ending. It's fun knowing about the other ending, but I do like the last line being like, "Do you remember where you parked the car?" As they're both like disembodied heads. It's so stupid.
It's so dumb. I love it.
It's
I was going to say,
incredible.
too, like, you obviously had to change the stage ending because every night your actresses fall into a bunch of pieces, and it's too much work to put them back together in time for a curtain call.
If it makes you feel better, she does decapitate Madeline during the shovel fight in the musical. And so there is a great moment where she's like, clearly there's something wrong. There's a giant hole in me. And Madeline goes, yeah, and my head is a la carte because she's wheeled out on a...
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And so,
Incredible.
so they do pull it off.
Incredible.
That's great. I love that.
I'm excited to see it one day.
Me too.
It's Broadway, right?
Yes.
Gavin,
Yeah,
or is
yeah,
this...
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there a slime tutorial for this one?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you don't even need a slime tutorial. I'm sure it's just available on YouTube for free. I mean, to the extent that I've seen, like, I don't think anybody is stopping people from filming it from the amount of stuff that's on TikTok. Like, I'm just like, this is an amateur filming of it. How did they get away with this? These are close-ups.
Wow. Yeah. Ooh, wow. Okay. That feels so strange. If I ever got my phone out of the theater, I would just shrivel and die.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Same.
No, it simply will not do that.
Because we have taste and morals, but for anyone who is doing it, please be careful, and we'll keep it hush-hush.
Yeah. Drop the link.
Drop the link. We have a chat.
I'm sure there's a pro shot somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, how did we feel about Death Becomes Her in terms of horror or queerness after our conversation? Have these thoughts changed at all from where we started? And does anyone just have any final thoughts for our episode?
No thoughts. I'm just beautiful. So
Truly. You're
a thought, THOT.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I do think this movie is. I mean, it. I don't want to say anything that will get me in trouble because I know you are doing The Substance, but to me, my problem with The Substance was, and it was a good movie, so I'm not saying I didn't like it, but my problem with The Substance was that it is very the levels are off. It's very here's the thesis from the beginning, and it just for the next 2.5 hours keeps hitting that thesis, and that's fine. But I think that what's great about this is the thesis is constantly coming up, but there's so much other stuff to because it is so campy, because it is so funny, because it's so cartoony, and because you get to deal with all these other people, including Isabella Rossellini's character and Bruce Willis's character, and you get to experience the movie through their eyes as well, because it would be really messed up if you witnessed your wife die and then she came back to life, and then you witnessed the woman that you almost cheated on her with come back from the dead with a hole through her. And so you have all these other levels that are occurring, and also it's only an hour and a half, which thank goodness. And so I love this movie. I love the little world that it paints and the little morality play that it is. But it genuinely forces you to think past the laughs as well too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad that our household now has access to this to watch on a regular basis. I think it's funny because as we were watching it, Mike said, why haven't I watched this more? And I thought, well, God, after watching Sandra Bullock's The Proposal 600 times, why don't we fucking watch something of decent quality so that I can be tired of this movie too? And I look forward to another watching of it. I think it's I think that on a rainy Sunday, popping this shit in, maybe even doing a little Bellatra on the side, I'm not mad. I don't think this needs to be a full focus film to have a good time and laugh and remember it. I think this is a perfect TBS movie, and I wish that I had seen it on TBS.
It's good pairing with Clue. It kind of gives Clue vibes.
Oh, that's a double feature. I'd like to sign up for.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That would be a lot of fun.
Would give just a fun little shout out. My friend Christy, who's a professional critic, in 2017 did a great oral history of Death Becomes Her called The Gloriously Queer Afterlife of Death Becomes Her. And I think there's a lot of brilliant little nuggets buried in this oral history about how gay people and queer people have gravitated to this movie because, much like most horror films and whatnot, feeling like you're on the outside of what is considered quote unquote normal or mainstream makes you feel a little monstrous. And what are these characters longing for other than the love and affection of the mainstream, of the they want to constantly be told they're beautiful and they're smart, and that's what Helen never finds her sanity, but she finds a trim little waist and that's it. And Madeline is also insane from the beginning. It's just she's not homicidal until she is. And then so I think that there is something about being an outsider, feeling like you don't belong, that of course queer people connect to. Kind of goes without saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also wish I had never seen this at a bar. That's the other thing that I think is most shocking to me, is that I am certain that I have been to bars where this played. I just was never there at the time, and I'm the worst for that. So
God,
you know
I
what?
would love to watch this movie at a gay bar. That'd be so much fun.
So incredible, right? Or I would even
Or
just love a lip sync performance,
like a watch party.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll get everyone around the Glitterjaw living room. We'll pop this in. We'll do Clue after, and then we'll do something totally weird for the third one. Just really off the wall.
Robert Zemeckis is Beowulf.
No.
Hey guys, I'm bringing the mood down. Like...
I love this. We're just building that eventual Patreon drop where we watch terrible things. For Merrily, it's Elf. For Tyler, we've now learned it's Robert Zemeckis' Beowulf. We'll just have to find a third thing for me.
Merrily, by the way, I have never, all the way back, I think it was even your first episode where you brought up your Elf. Like,
that was in the Q&A.
Yeah.
That was.
I've never felt more connected to someone because I have never seen Elf. I don't want to see Elf. It is every year someone's like, you should see Elf. I don't like Christmas. Thank you. I'm fine. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, there's a reason we went to Louis for the Gimmicks Christmas in July episode and not Gavin.
Exactly.
Just horrendous. Thank you. That's my scared for whatever it's going to be, that if it finally happens, I'm going to like have to own up and watch that stupid fucking movie. Not excited about it.
You can watch the slime tutorial of Elf the Musical though, I'm sure.
I think the bigger fear that lies deep at the core of it, Merrily, is what if you like it? That would be the worst case scenario. Yeah. What if you became an elf? I have no fear of that. You became an elf.
It just becomes your whole personality.
Just get an elf tattoo right here on your shoulder.
If you ever see me say anything positive about the movie Elf, please know I've been killed and replaced. So that's your tell, everybody. But no, I don't have a graceful exit. We're just gonna go. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Listeners, you may not be able to see our asses, but you can see what we're posting on Instagram and Blue Sky at FearCodedPod. And Gavin, thank you so much for joining us. You are literally a delight. Where can people find you and what you're working on?
First of all, you can see my ass if you ask real nice. Second of all, thank you so much for having me on. This is a pure delight. I knew I had to be a guest on this show at some point. You know, I went and saw Sheridan Le Fanu's grave as part of my honeymoon. So yes, when I was listening to your Carmel episode, I was like, for me, this is all for me. But yes, you can find me and the other stuff I'm working on online at the Mixed Reviews on Blue Sky. You can find our Instagram for that at @the_mix_reviews, or just find us around Glitterjaw. And if you want to find the Q Division, you can find that at the Q Division, or at Q Division Pod on Blue Sky, as well as Instagram. As David mentioned up top, those are both monthly podcasts I do with my good friends Louis Rendon and Chels Eicholtz. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. And I'm so happy to be part of the Glitterjaw family. And I guess if you really just want to find me, it's Gavin on Blue Sky, which is SHHITSGAVIN, or at Gavin Mev on Instagram.
And listen, you know what, Gavin? I would love you to continue to cover your watch by watch of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh my god, yeah. I love that. Please keep going.
I genuinely hadn't watched it in like a decade or so, and so I found some HD upgrades that are not the official HD upgrades on the internet. They were mailed to me, and
wow.
Don't know how that happened.
Fans everywhere.
Exactly. A woman came to them, was like, you can only have them for 10 years and then they have to go away. Sempre viva. And, but yeah. And so I just started rewatching it, and I love it so much. And I love like seeing the like stuff that really still holds up and the stuff that doesn't really hold up as much anymore. But
stuff that really doesn't hold up. Maybe that will be when we have you back on the podcast, Gavin.
I would love to come back to talk about Buffy specifically, but other things as well too. Do you like Jesus? Well, I can talk about Jesus.
The cheese podcast. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I definitely thought you said Jesus, Gavin, and I'm like, that was back in Excommunicapril.
Yeah, no.
You missed your shot.
That's
you
too
have to
scary.
Wait.
That's too scary. Well, this podcast is, of course, a proud part of that Glitterjaw Queer Podcast Collective. So if you'd like to listen to more queer media podcasts, check out the full roster of shows at glitterjaw.com. And join us next time as we conclude Diva Month with a gooey identity crisis in the new cinematic classic, The Substance. But for now, we will simply say goodbye.
Bye.
That was rude. That was pretty fucking rude.